You don't try to go up against what the other series is doing.
Correct. We don't.
If they're running supers, you're running modifieds or sprint cars. And I can tell you, a lot of people have said, man, that Dale Inman Rudman Memorial race, the Dale and Inman Memorial,
yes.
That is a big one that you guys do in December. Why can't you bring November? Why don't you bring the modifieds to Speed Weeks? Why?
Because we literally run modifieds here all year long. They're one of our favorite
so
classes.
It's kind of like you want to do different special things, special classes.
So literally, you look at the market and we are the destination for sprints during Speed Weeks. If you are a wing fan or a non-wing fan and you like a sprint car, Bubba Raceway Park has to be on your radar.
Yeah.
Because we run the mini sprint wingless, we run the wing. We run the winged
All-Star
410s.
Circuit of Champions.
We run the 360s. We run the USAC midgets. We run the USAC big
Midget
sprints.
cars, yes.
So literally, it is the destination for sprints, and that's what we worked so hard to be. Because if you go to Volusia Speedway, you're going for the Gator. You want that modified. You want that late model.
Right.
And they only dabble in the sprints now.
They only dabble in the sprints or the big blocks for 3-4 days.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, and then you go down to East Bay, and that's the king of the sprints. Like, and they still now, they've got a week of Lucas Oil. They've got modifieds.
Right.
They've got some of their local classes.
But like the Dirt Car Nationals is like 14 days straight of racing.
Yep.
You guys race like
January
Wednesday night
28th.
practice, then you do 3 days or 2 days,
Yep.
and then you take a couple of days off. But it's like you're still here. Like I've been here off and on 2 times in Speed Weeks, and there has literally been campers and people, your villagers, your people as you call them, that have been here since January the 28th. The food vendors,
yes,
the souvenir vendors that are lined up, they weren't there just for USAC. They were there for Lucas Oil. They were there for this event this weekend. So when they come in and set up, they set up for the long haul.
Absolutely, and that's kind of what, like I said, we look forward to it. They come every year. We've built relationships with people, and that's something that people have kind of lost, and I think an art for is you want people to come to your grandstands, not just your pit. You have to work both sides of your business. And if you're only relying on just the drivers, the drivers are going to come race because they want to race. But they want to race in front of people. It's exciting if you
Nobody
win.
wants to do anything in front of an empty hole. I don't want to announce a race in front of an empty grandstand.
Right, and it's so much more exciting when you're talking to people and you're up there in the tower. Okay, so you go out there and you win, and maybe it's the first time you've ever won. You get out of your car and you're like, yay, where'd everybody go?
There's 100 people there.
Right, so you know what I mean? So if we need to work on both sides of the track.
What's your thoughts on that? That was one of the next questions I was going to ask you. Get out of my damn head, woman.
Sorry.
So what's your thoughts of not just Florida racing, but where motorsports is in a whole today?
Well, the biggest thing is if you look at our grandstands, the people are getting older, not younger. And so we have to find a way to get our youth back into racing. We actually have our first ever Power Wheels champion here at Bubba Raceway Park. And they race in the infield once a month with their Power Wheels.
County Line Raceway does that too.
And then we actually included the Power Wheels in our demo derby, and we put balloons around them. The last Power Wheel with a balloon on it wins. So it's, but we have the meet and greets. And actually, we did all our young guns. I picked one person from every class of people that were under 21 to sign autographs with the kids. And they all met down in the general area, and they sat down there for all of intermission, and some of them longer until their cars were called up for staging and signed autographs. It was great. And then all of a sudden, here comes Buzzy Rudiman. I got all my young guns, and then here comes this legend walking through the gate, and he's excited to see the kids. So he signs autographs, and he hangs out with the young guns. And so I got this picture,
awesome.
And it's posted on Bubba Raceway Park, and it's all our young guns with Buzzy Rudiman.
That's
so
awesome.
It was great.
It's kind of like Otto Scrape with Robbie Smith and Paige Moss at Henry last weekend. The interview that I did. Talk about the future. You talk about I don't like to say the word old. The old, the new, the veteran, the rookie.
Yeah.
The up-and-comers.
Well, that's why. Why do you think you have a Rookie of the Year?
Right.
Because you want to celebrate the person that did well, that hasn't done this before.
That's right.
And you kind of have that, everybody says, how do you get kids back in it? Well, if you see children, I would like to know what color you said their eyes were, because it's like their head is down into a phone or some kind of tablet.
Yeah.
So for me, I think NASCAR hit that on the head, and I know that a lot of people aren't happy with them and that they don't do a lot of good things. They have these cool interactive tablets, and you can click on the driver.
Yeah.
And, they can actually watch the race in their tablet, and they can know about the driver, their sponsors. They can see when the spotters are talking to the driver.
Right.
if we could incorporate something like that, I think it would be great, because then we actually branch into that market for those kids. My race pass we have for my Florida Mini Sprint, and
right.
they had some of that technology that I liked. So we signed on with them this year, and if you're following the Florida Mini Sprint, you'll be able to watch us with My Race Pass live for all of our races.
Cool deal.
So it'll have the live ticker going across our webpage, all that good stuff. So you'll be able to see them as they race, and kind of like Race Monitor, but
basically
on
they're
our
in a
website.
circle, and you see them where they're diagrammically around the track graphics.
Just their numbers and their speeds and stuff like that. So, and there's apparel on there. There's all kinds of good stuff.
That's awesome.
It was
DirtsForRacing.com, correct?
Dirts for Racing and Florida Mini Sprint. And check us out on Facebook, of course. We have a huge following on Facebook. And Dirts for Racing has our street stocks on there, but we also update from North Carolina down for other events that are going on for racing, because Dirts for Racing is literally just that. We don't care if it's a motorcycle. We don't care if it's trucks. If it's racing and it's on dirt, that's what Dirts for Racing is for. It's a forum, so that way there people can expose racing, because Dirts for Racing, asphalt's to get you there. So we kind of want people to focus on driving those vehicles to and from the house on asphalt, and then coming to watch racing. Like these things that go like 2, 3, 4, 5 wide. If you'd like to watch some asphalt racing, they have a choo-choo train that comes like right down this road. And it's got these two little metal things in the ground that goes parallel side by side, and everybody kind of follows each other, and they're kind of hooked together. Or you can come watch 3, 4, 5 wide race, and your heart beats. I
can't have you diss asphalt racing on my show, fella. Okay, you can't do that, fella. You can't do that. Come on now.
So it is definitely exciting racing in dirt. So we definitely have a passion for it.
And one thing I've noticed, Candice, again, we're on the air with Candice Keeley. By the way, our show is presented by All About Wraps. If you like to get a wrap job on either your late model, your modified, your mini sprint, your motorcycle, your personal car or truck, RV, whatever, contact the fine folks at All About Wraps. And of course, you can check them out at allaboutraps.net. They said, you're not going to take care of us. Didn't I take care of us? I am. Allaboutraps.net. So
we gave them a hard time because we actually have some wrap sponsors here at the racetrack. So I was joking
we do,
with them.
and we can give shout outs to them. Was it Vivid Graphics and some other people? But All About Wraps has put up money. So yes.
Tommy's Towing is one of our amazing sponsors, and we actually had a new tow vehicle brought here to the racetrack, and it's called Clifford.
I want to see Clifford.
Clifford's out there, and he was a big red Dodge, so Ken's kids named him Clifford. So then Vivid Graphics stepped up and wrapped Clifford, and there's little Cliffords all over him. The windshield of Clifford.
And, of course, Clifford's the big red dog,
Yes, of course.
Yes. So anybody that's got kids knows that. I mean, I have one kid. I'm not giving my age, but...
Yeah, so Clifford is our new hook and book, is what
that's
we call
Clifford
him.
over there.
Yeah,
I have to get
Clifford.
a picture with Clifford.
So he is our
Nathan
wrecker.
would like that picture.
So we do have some good sponsors here that do that stuff for us, too. But this gentleman came here for Speed Weeks, and he sponsored your show. So as I said, if they're supporting things in racing,
absolutely,
you got to support the guys that support racing. I joke all the time. Everybody's like, it's a lot, and I spend so much time in racing, and I joke, I'm like, this is my fun job. Because my real job is I have BFG Financial Group.
But I mean, damn, you stay so busy though.
Well,
you really
you got to schedule your time.
You literally get 2 or 3 hours of sleep.
You need 3 hours to maintain and 4 hours to sustain every once in a while.
But you literally get up and you go.
Between
you drive
3
from
and
one part of
5
Florida to the other. You go take the kids to school. You have your insurance company. You have the Dirts for Racing. You have the racetrack. You have ordering food. Trying to make sure these guys are following directions and not, tearing up the property. That's one thing, One thing I've saw during Speed Weeks, and I got to give props to the guys that I work with at MAV TV that I work for. They're stepping up and they're doing live races. As a matter of fact, this race at Bubba Raceway, what was your thoughts of that debacle that happened with the Lucas Oil event?
It rained, and unfortunately...
On the promoter side of things, I want you to be heard.
Mother Nature was not our friend that day, and it was funny because right before that, during the All-Star Circuit of Champions, we had that same kind of rain.
Right.
And we got the race in, so we were...
Yeah, I mean, there was one afternoon, it was Saturday.
2.5 hours.
Yes, you messaged me, and you were like...
And I did.
I'm like, wow, you're done.
Flooding.
There's
no way. And then we got that race in. Tony Stewart won the race.
Yeah.
And so I was like, and Lucas Oil is only here for one day. So we're like, we're going to hold out as long as we can. They're already here. Let's give them everything we got. So Bubba is out there and Elwood's out there and Billy and Ken, and they're working on that track, doing everything they can to get that race service together so that we could have a race for these guys.
Right.
And the problem was, on the radar, there was no rain. All day, there was no rain. And so, we kept saying, if it'll just stop, we're good right now. If it'll just stop, we're good. And by the time it downpoured the last time, we're like, we lost the pits. We're at the point now we got to call it. And so, we don't reschedule Lucas Oil because now they're on their tour and they go elsewhere. These guys are on their way home. They've got other things they've got to do.
And mind you, you called Rick Schwaley. And said, "Hey man, look, if they're we're not mad. Is there any way we could bring them in another time? Is there any way possibly that we could schedule you guys for a trip during the summer?
And we're going to look into that because we'd like to have them more than once. We would. Yeah. We have a great relationship with Lucas Oil, and we are going to look at expanding how often they're here. But for right now, our hands were tied, and we could not schedule another date. And I wasn't going to hold people's money for the fact that we didn't know. And so we had offered, it was pouring rain, so we said, listen, if you have your armbands and you are coming for another Speed Week event, come back, and we will give you the difference in price of the ticket, and you'll get your ticket for that day.
Got you.
If you can't make it back, mail us your armband back in, and we will send you back your money, because we didn't want everybody standing in the rain. Well, I had 2 or 3 people that were over-beveraged, and they were hanging out in the parking lot and decided to literally start a riot. I had a lady spit in my face. I had a guy push me, and 2 of our fans actually called the law because they were worried for my safety. And my staff was behind me, and that's the one thing that I really appreciate. They let me do my job. I had a couple ladies that were on there. Why did they send that girl out there to do that by herself? They didn't send me out there to do it by myself. That is my job. That is my role.
Yeah.
And so Lucas Oil stood beside me. That tall gentleman in that video actually was Lucas Oil. One of my infield crew was beside me, and Elwood was behind me. And, of course, Mills, my CEO, my Center of Entertainment Officer, was right beside me. Making sure I was okay, so at no point was I in danger of something I couldn't handle. I was in the military, and I'm pretty good at taking care of myself. So I could have handled a situation if I needed to. It's just a matter of...
So you're like a female hot Steven Seagal, right?
I wish. I am a pretty good shot, though. I do like to hunt.
Gotcha.
But, and paintball's a lot of fun. So, but literally, we did calm the crowd, and I told them, at the end of the day, what was difficult was some people, we're trying to be accommodating here. So we take checks for the race teams, and we did take some credit cards, and it was cash. And I told them, I said, at the end of the day, it's going to take a long period of time to figure out who paid with what.
Right.
And so we asked them to mail them in. Well, the 3 people that were over-beveraged created a riot. And so literally, by the end of it,
Postage. We want postage. Who's paying postage?
Oh my gosh, that one guy was so worried about his postage. And
it's like, wow, dude.
And as he's screaming it with a beer in his hand. So I said to him, sir, just calm down. I said, here's how this will work. If you paid by cash, stand in this line. If you paid by check, you stand in this line. If you paid by credit card, stand in this line.
And there were some people that wanted cash back, and you're like, no, damn it! I know you paid with a credit card. You're not getting cash. You're going to get refunded on the card.
And what was sad was there was people that did get cash back that paid with a check and then stopped payment on a check.
Wow.
And then they wonder.
That's so cold.
And then they wonder
you got your
why.
money back,
and they wonder. Yeah. And they wonder why we didn't want to do it that way that day. But they set it up that way, So it hurts other people when they do it. That way.
Candice, I've said this several times, and I'm sorry you went through that experience. But again, people remember this: no one wins in a rain delay. No one wins in a postponement.
There's so
lose.
much money that goes into getting a race ready. What people don't realize is, they know if you're a race car driver, it takes all day to get your car ready, and days before that, right? So you gotta you're checking your tires, you're checking your fuel, you're making sure you're not bolted your car, everything's ready to go. Do you have tear-offs?
And then to top it off, they're coming from East Bay after racing for 6 days,
right? So they're getting all their stuff together. They get here, they're unloading their cars, they're exhausted. They've been on the road now for a week at East Bay. They're headed to Volusia, so you got all the drivers.
They were at Golden Isles the weekend before.
So they're exhausted, but they're trying to still make it through this mad dash themselves. So
Right.
you got the drivers in here that I'm worried about. And I now need to get them on their way to Volusia, because if we're rained out, that means they get a few extra hours of sleep in the parking lot of Volusia Speedway. So
Right.
they're
Right.
going to head that way. I got a mad mob out front that I can't get them through, though, because they won't let the drivers, drive through, because they
Right.
want their money back right now.